So is it supposed to rain a long time today?
Now that I'm not sure. From what I'm seeing is just saying it'll be raining off and on for the next couple of hours, but I don't know if it's all day. But I do see where Fox 13 has issued today as a severe weather day.
Mm. So yeah, it may be something. I'm gonna keep my tail in the house. All right, this is pedicuring part 2. We're live, preparing to share the screen. If you guys are on our live stream just coming in, it is stormy where we are. So yeah, let's get started. All right. Continuation from pedicuring part 1, pedicuring part 2. Let's look at implements. Okay, let's look at implements. All right, let's look at the toenail clippers. We are highlighted in yellow today. Our key is going to be yellow. I'm probably use some pink today for the girlies. So toenail clippers and nippers, all right? Designed for shortening the toenails. And they are larger, sometimes stronger, because of course toenails are stronger, okay? They're stronger than the nails on your fingers. And so it is larger too for the curve, to help with shortening and put some curve to the toenail. All right. They have curved or straight jaws with wider space. All right. Um, we look at this and it is a stainless steel. We have to look at this as infection control as well, from an infection control perspective as well. Um, Washing this with soap and water, okay, and probably using a little brush to help get any kind of debris that may be trapped in between any of the crevices. So first washing it with soap and water, and then letting it set in a disinfectant solution. This actually can go from disinfection and it can go to sterilization. Because sterilization it will sit in a boiling hot water at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. And so this will be considered also a multi-use. So it's a lot deep. Wash them and disinfect them. And this also can be sterilized and used again. So it is multi-use, okay? It is not disposable, okay? It is not single use, it is multi-use. And so it says clean and disinfect. The clippers after each use. So you do not use this continuously. And they're rather on the lower expensive end. So you should have multiple of these if you're going to be servicing pedicures. Okay. So always look underneath the nails and use care before clipping. Um, there can be skin attached to the nail center. Cutting nails straight across can cut the hyponychium and skin underneath. So what we're saying is definitely look, because you can have the hyponychium is the skin right under the nail. Okay. So you have the free edge, which is the nail that hangs off. That's what you're supposed to be cutting. But if you don't pay attention, and sometimes that hyponychium sticks and protrudes out, and you may end up cutting into that hyponychium, which is making that client skin very, very sore. and it could cause bleeding, bruising. So a lot of blood cells right up in that area. So you must, when we're dealing with the toenail clipper, you must make sure you look underneath to make sure the hyponychium is not attached to that free edge that you're cutting. Okay. And especially when individuals say, hey, we want to cut down low, just make sure you touch and feel that you don't have skin attached to that. Okay. But so it says always look underneath. That's a great observation to make sure that the hyponychium is not being cut as well. And as we look at toenail clippers, similar to the fingernail clippers for shortening the nails, it has stronger strength as well. Great for trimming, tapering, cutting down small areas. We will use this also around the cuticle area to trim down that skin. The curette is what some people tend to forget about a lot, going into yellow initial definition. We have single edge curette, and then there's a double edge curette as well. Okay. Now they can be pointing at the end. You must deal with them gently. They're so small they can't get into crevices. So you use them sometimes down the sides and also underneath the nails to kind of pull and drag out dirt, debris, things of that nature. More individuals that are sensitive, and you have to be very careful. It can go too deep, in which it could spark, hit the matrix of the nerve. You don't want to cause a nail deformity. Okay, so make sure you're not handling this roughly, very gently, and you're not just sticking this under the toenail, and trying to clean it out. You really can hit some sensitive areas. And if, man, I've had people who could not move because something was going on with their nail or with their toes. It is another pain. It's just like when someone has like a toothache or something, it just shuts everything down. And so it could be the same thing. Remember, yesterday I spoke about nerve endings and reflexology and them connected to systems and organs. Well, sticking this in improperly, you could trigger something that gives a stimulation differently in another part of the body. So we do want to be very careful about using it. It's not sharp, it's dull on the end, it should be rounded, but because it has this linear um, state, it's long, and even though it's rounded, it still has this long, slender state to it. This is a double-ended one. It could still do some harm. Okay, so be gentle with it. Okay, do not push the eponychium with a metal pusher during a pedicure. Feet are more susceptible to infection from the hand, so be very, very careful when you're dealing with the eponychium, hyponychium, and perionychium. Eponychium is, if you look at your nails, what people would call cuticle. So, but right behind that cuticle is the eponychium. The hyponychium would be that skin that we touch underneath the free edge of the nail. Okay. And the perionychium would be that side of the nail. And so those are very sensitive areas, carries nerves and cells and things of that nature. So you want to be careful with not just, some people say, get on Myra feet, but we cannot be as harsh around those particular areas. You don't want to damage anything to come. One of my favorites, a nail rasp. Let's gonna highlight in yellow. Man, it's a narrow metal implement, curves used for filling and smoothing the nail plate edges. So I love this one. It helps round out, gives a nice smoothness. Um, Many individuals love this to help prevent ingrown nails. Okay, helps with the edges. Okay, if those edges are not rounded off, they could continue to grow deeper and could really grow into the skin. All right, so we want to be careful with that. We want to place the rasp under the nail, angling points of the rasp at the nail center. and remaining portion. So it acts like a gentle file as well, but it's for the sides of the nail. Okay. And if you have clients that have ingrown nails, don't use it. But clients that have ingrown nails, you at that point they do need to go see their podiatrist. You can't use this and start pulling that nail out. It is an initial prevention, okay? And so yeah, we're not going to use that. This can be banned in certain states, so make sure your state allows for it as well. Okay. As we look at our pedicure files, we did talk about the grit count. It says for toenails, a metal grit file works best for the shapings. It's something mild, something medium. Um, Finishing, sealing the edges. That's the most important to make sure that the edges are enclosed. If an abrasive file cannot survive proper cleaning, okay, disinfection procedures consider it single use and discarded. So if the file cannot withstand being washed and cleaned again and it starts tearing up, you ain't gonna better use that. You need to go ahead and throw it away. It is considered a single use. Okay. If it cannot withstand the soap and water, the brushing, the disinfectant solution, and things of that nature, if it can't hold up to that, you got to get rid of it. Foot files, also known as pedicure pedal, saving this, highlighting in yellow, bookmarking, um, built for a little tougher, and mostly we use this on reducing the thickness of the calluses. You can add a little pressure, but it is a longer length. It's wide, so it gives that extra protection. Okay. We talked yesterday about calluses and things of that nature. So when our clients, there are callus removers. We prefer, I think Tennessee does not allow the blades on the feet. And so we have to get away from that, because a lot of times the blades would cause it to come back. People say that the blades will cause it to come back tougher. Well, if it's too much shave off, the client, it's like your nervous system, your brain says, hey, they need more cushion here. So when you bring it back, it needs to be a little tougher, a little harder. Okay. So some people say, don't do the shaving, just do like the product that softens and callus away. And literally, I went to Puerto Rico, there's a product you can put on and you just really rub it over and the dead skin just starts coming off. Um, so there's products that you use can remove most of that and then you'll file it down. But you have some people that will go in and just, use the shaver to cut all that off. But if they do too much, now you're sensitive on the bottom of your heel is sensitive and your brain is sending a signal that, hey, we need to make more. And this time, make it harder so we can protect them. And so we kind of defeating ourselves. We're shaving it down because it's hard. But you shaving too much, you're producing more to make it harder. Okay. So, and then especially in your state, make sure you're not using that blade. And if they are using a blade, it's been such a big thing about that blade. Cuts, blood, all kind of stuff, and making sure they're not using the same blade on other clients. So you want something fresh, something new. And a lot of people just choose not to do the blade at all. Okay. When you look at gloves, OSHA, now this is something, remember, infection control is a major part of the exam. We're going to highlight OSHA stands for Occupational Safety and Health Association. It mandates, okay, mandates that technician wear gloves while performing pedicures or working with chemicals to prevent exposure to pathogens present on the feet or in the water. So, mandates, your state board may also enforce the mandate, which means it is against the law or the rules of the state board that if you decide not to wear gloves, you're breaking the rules. You could be fined. Okay. If you're not wearing the gloves, it's already said mandate. All right. And so with OSHA and the state board, both of them are saying put the gloves on. Okay. If you don't, you risk of getting fined. We're going to look at some unique pedicure materials, toe separators. Um, I consider these as single use. I know a lot of times we've grown up in salons and they had them there and you put them on, they take them off before you use them, they spray them, put them on somebody else. But can you imagine what's in the middle of somebody's toes? Okay, and it's being transmitted. It has moisture on these toenail separators. Bacteria soaks into the moisture. All right, so bam, I don't need I don't need this toe separators that bad to pick up somebody's fungus and bacteria. Okay, so they're considered multi-use. They separate the toes so you can get everything done. Pedicure slippers, a lot of time they are inexpensive paper slippers or foam slippers as well. Of course, multi-use, but you do have some salons that will take them off and reuse them. If you're more so like me, I bring my own slippers. I bring my own flip-flops or something like that. That's all I want to do. Okay. The single use, all right. Most of the times we're not getting the polish. What kind of polish do you get? Do you get shellac or you get the traditional polish?
I kind of flip flop between the two.
Okay, okay, okay. I haven't gotten shellac. I haven't got traditional polish in years. I am so glad. I used to teach nails, and that's when I used to teach nails like ooh 2012 or something like that, 2012 or 2013. That's when I learned about LED and gel nails and actually using the gel to build the acrylic. I don't see that a lot either. People using the actual gel to build gel nails. Um, and when I was learning, we took a class on gel nails and then the gel polishing and things like that. I was like, I love this, absolutely love it, never going back. And then I started just going to a salon and said, look, just let me get that. And my biggest thing with traditional nails, I was not making it out the door, marking or messing up my nails. That day, if I did make it out the door that day, I was messing up my nails. And I would even go down to not wearing any light colors to go down to black because it was hard for you to see the mess up on my nails. And I was like, I don't want to wear black on my nails. Um, I'm gonna try something else. And when I did do it for myself, I was like, I'm never going back to traditional nail polish. And it's almost a thing. I don't care how much it costs. I love the beauty of nails, the shine, and I like it because I don't have to go back and get them to repair my nails. It is just something about just getting it done the first time and going on. At least maintenance is possible. But I pretty much do that. But my sister's trying to get me out of routine. And my niece told me to get pink toes. I said, no, that's going outside of my routine. And so my routine is white toes, and it's been white toes for about 7 years, 6 or 7 years. And it's been cotton bubble bath on my nails for 6 or 7 years, period. I'm not interested in changing. Maybe something else comes down the line. If you see me with a different color, you know that there's been a major life shift. Okay. If you ever see me with a different color, it's been something major has happened. Okay. But I love to bring my own slippers. Now, I almost got to a point where I bring my own tools, but I didn't want to invade them, So it's like use your stuff and make sure that it's clean. I want to make sure that it's being disinfected. We're looking at products. Now, I love the products. Foot soaks, pedicure scrubs, masks, lotions, creams, callus softeners. Basically, it's a facial for the feet. Okay. Facial for the feet. Let's look at foot soaks. Um, You put these in a pedicure water. It softens the skin, helps give fragrance. It's going to give some moisturizers too. It sets the stage for the rest of the pedicure. It's just like the cleanser. It's the pre-work, okay? High quality product. Now, here's the thing with pedicure product companies. You may think nail companies that you know are the best. Well, there are some companies out there that don't have a name that have the bomb product, okay? And let me tell you now, when I go to PR, when I go to Puerto Rico, I usually go for a trade show. Okay. When I go to the trade show, I make sure I stock up on nail products for my nail students. And I just went in November, and I'm probably I think we had to end up shipping the nail products because it was just a big thing of soap, about $20. But the small one here in Tennessee is $20. And I got the large container for 20. So it's like a nail wholesale over there. It was amazing. Um, and then got a couple more items. I think I end up getting some Egyptian muumuus, some Indian muumuus for like $20. It was the bomb. So you ever see the Puerto Rican show advertised and just take the family. It's still a US, don't need a passport, but go to that trade show. You'll see the most precision in cutting, coloring, and nails. You'll see, it is definitely worth the growing interest, and you can write it off on your taxes as far as education, advanced education. But yeah, so I like getting my products from over there. Better quality, better pricing, and they'll ship it over. Exfoliating scrubs, removing dead skin cells. You do not want to have scrubs that scrape up the skin. So you'll find that these scrubs are softened. These not the same scrubs that I would use on my face, okay? Because they will probably have some other chemicals. Whatever we're using on our face skin is different from other skins on our body, okay? So naturally, the feet, the nails are harder. The skin is also tougher. It's just naturally. On men, the skin is tougher, even tougher than that. And so these products, even though they may smell good, they feel good, they look good, they are not to be used on the face, but they're specifically made for the feet. And they may have certain chemicals. And mostly all of them have something to peel away dead skin. So every product you use is starting to soften that dead skin and remove. And that is not something we want to use on the face, even though there are facial products that do that as well, but they're less harsh for the face. Okay. We have masks. Masks are going to help tone, they're going to treat, they're going to nourish, they're going to help maintain tone and color. It's going to help relax the clients, moisturizing, mineral clay. So things that you need to hydrate from the heel to the toes, you got it. I love a good mask. Okay. Love a good mask. Lotions and creams are going to be amazing, especially if I'm figuring out I got something going on with the feet. There's severe dryness, okay? And so I also include oils into this mix too. So mostly I take an oil and a cream or oil and a lotion, and it's a double hydrator, okay? You may have heard parents say, hey, the Vaseline and put the socks on. All of that good stuff, all of that good, amazing stuff. They're really what you're doing, and you're trying to encap. You're trying to push moisture into certain layers of the skin. So the most effective time to do that is going to be removing the dead skin cells. So right after a pedicure, all right, that night of the pedicure, I would take my oil and lotion, or I take and the reason why wouldn't do Vaseline, because Vaseline has a barrier. Once you put it on, nothing else effective goes through there. And Vaseline doesn't really have a purpose. It can soften, but it doesn't give purpose to the skin. You think of products that are similar to Vaseline, you got Aquaphor, and you also have A&D. I choose A&D. Okay, my skin does well with A&D ointment than it does anything else. So I would choose an oil with an A&D ointment, and I would emulsify that really good. Wrap my heel, wrap my foot in it. If I need to go in with a lotion, I do a lotion behind that or a cream, and then I put the socks on. Okay. You do that for a while. And there can be a routine every night if you want to, but the bottom of your feet is going to be so soft. The callus area you would have had around the heels and the sides of the feet are going to be so soft. And we don't have to worry about dumping a whole lot of oil and stuff on our feet and then looking down and they're really, really dry. All right. So, and if we keep that skin lubricated, we don't have to worry about it cracking. Okay. And so that's something too for our clients that have that issue with feet or their legs being very dry. You got to give them something. You got to build something for them that can prevent that because another protection of the body is to make sure that it does not crack. The skin does not crack. The skin is the major component that protects everything else. It's the largest organ of the body. So it holds everything together. Any crack in the skin would cause bacteria to come in. It could possibly cause bacteria to come in. And with our overweight clients, with our clients that have kidney issues, our clients that have if they tell you they're getting wound care, that's a red flag for me to ask more questions because they may not be able to get pedicures, or if they're getting pedicures, it's more of a push for me to say, hey, you got to make sure your lubricants on your skin they stay intact at all times, whether you have to wear the socks all the way up. We do not need areas on the feet to crack. Okay. It could be an open wound that builds up everything else. And I've seen one little cut just kind of mess up a whole leg. And so we have to make sure that we don't have this dryness going on. Callus softeners. Okay. Products that soften and smooth thicken tissue. I love it. You do have products, like I told you before, you go on, you let it set, and when you pull that wrapper off or the wrap off, all of the dead skin comes off with it. It's urea, salicylic acid. I want you to tell you salicylic acid is the key ingredient, one of the key ingredients for, and this is the one of the key ingredients for pimples, acne. And so, of course, if you're going to remove something, and then potassium hydroxide, this is a form of relaxant. Okay, this is a form of relaxer, so it's a key ingredient. Relaxers, Nair, things of that nature. So you have some key ingredients that are going to soften that area. And precautions, blades, using gloves, using things to protect your eyes, following manufacturer's directions. All of those are great things to check out. Okay. When you're looking at a professional line is not always like the best. You have CNA, CND, you have OPI. Okay. You have a lot of different lines that have brands that are really, really big, but you can really be successful with brands that do not require high tickets, that don't require you to purchase a whole lot of products and things like that. So if you are considering brands, find out if the brand has something that your clients mostly use. And so you may say, hey, you have a small kit that I can purchase. The small kits always helps instead of investing in so much. You don't know if the clients are going to retail, pick up, you don't know what's changing. So definitely always look at smaller components and build up. Gonna highlight this area here, that bookmark that area. Of course, consultation is going to be a major factor for anything that we do. Consultation and um, also you can refer back to different chapters. Every chapter is going to talk about building a rapport of the client. What questions will we be asking that pertains to pedicuring? What other consultation questions could we build that'll help us determine if this person can get the service or not? So we have consultation is the conversation. Analysis is us actually looking at the feet. Can we perform the service? Okay, so consultation is a conversation, and analysis, I'm using my eyes. And both of these together are going to determine if I'm able to perform the nail service. Okay, evaluate nails and skin. I'm always going to check my clients, like, what are we doing? How long was your last one? I need to touch. I need to use my senses. I need to smell. Do I smell something? Do I see something? Do I feel something? We want to talk about questions that reveal if there's diseases or disorders present. And so if someone tells us about they have blood pressure, they have this, that doesn't mean they can't get the service. They can, but just with caution. Also, we want to talk about when we look at analysis, I'm looking for signs of infection. I want to, and here's another thing, if I touch, I'm looking to see if the client would actually be make squirming faces. Are they in pain? I'm looking for all those particular things, okay? All those particular things. Acknowledging the medical conditions. We also look at HIPAA. We can't share this. Remember, we can't share this with anybody. If they give us, fill out that client consultation form and give us permission to look through, their stuff that they put on there, we also have to follow HIPAA where we do not share that information. So we need to make sure that all of the client's information is intact. This is another reason why I like digital, okay, and having not only access to the digital consultation forms, all right, and the people that the client wants to have access to, that's who has access to it. All right. It says for clients that have severe or uncontrolled hypertension, do not perform a foot and leg massage. If you're having circulatory issues, vein issues, we're going to avoid massage as well. For clients with sensitive or red prone skin, you cannot do strong massages, can't do heavy massages. For clients who are pregnant or have arthritis, be gentle, avoid strong and heavy massage movements as well. These are the prerequisites, okay? And when we talk about the word contraindications, it's keep coming up again. And so contraindications would be red flags. And so these are our limits as to leg massage when it comes to servicing clients. So acknowledging those conditions. If they're honest with you, be honest with them what you're able to do for them. So as you determine the service, you determine what you're able to do. More than likely, it's that what the client wants versus what they can receive. Okay. And so, although they want this, you still have to tell them, this is what I can do. This is what I will do basically under my license. I'm not willing to do anything else today. This is what I can do. The client does not respect that. You have to just let them go. Okay. But also at the same token, we cannot tell the clients what they're going to get. They are the one paying for it. Okay, so if you don't want to perform the service and if it goes against something you just don't want to do, just don't do it. It's always somebody that will do it. And I look at it this way: if it's going to harm you or harm the client, and you know for sure it is something they don't need to get, I would not touch it. Okay. Most of the time, a lot of clients just want what they want. They know how bad it is. They've been told this years and years before, and they've been consistently going against the grain. So if it's something you don't want to do, just don't do it. But believe somebody else is going to do it. But will you see that client again? Yep. When they want you to fix it. When they go somewhere else and get it messed up and they want you to fix it, you will see them again. All right. So I wouldn't even trip about anything. When it comes to maintaining medical records, we got this digital, but you can go contact cards, contact forms, and put up in file for each client, or just go digital where it's not actually sitting in a space, maybe sitting in the clouds. When we look at pedicure services and many things that come with them, I like to use themes. Okay. The clientele service menus include drinks now. Have you noticed that? The service menu, like, oh, okay, you want a cocktail? I was like, what? No, not a pedicure cocktail. Just give me a soda pop or water or juice. I don't trust my pedicure people to make an alcohol beverage for me. So, if I heard that they were good, maybe so, but yeah, nah, just give me a Coke. All right. So, finding out what you're good at, the pedicure series from appointments down to the services, just making sure that you can execute, perform the services you want to. Someone is going to say, when do I come back? Okay, how often do you want to see the client? Sometimes you say if it's really, really bad, I'm gonna say I want to see you every 2 weeks. The same thing that we said with a client that's hair is really, really in bad condition. I want to see you every week for about 3 weeks. Then we're gonna go every 2 weeks. Then we'll go however from there. But that's how your treatments will go. So making sure you have a treatment plan for the client, be able to educate them a little bit, and don't forget the rebooking process. Okay, don't forget the rebooking process. We look at spa pedicures as well. Okay, so along with the spa pedicures, we are doing a little bit extra. We may add the mask. We also may add the paraffin. We may add some organic oils, reflexology, aromatherapy, and so we can customize these pedicures. We definitely can customize them. They don't have to be just the traditional water pedicures, but it's upgrade. It's definitely an upgrade. When we look at upgrading the pedicures, of course, we can upgrade with nail art. So learning, being proficient in nail art, upgrading also, adding the acrylic toe, um, and just adding different things, different repairs, techniques, paraffin, all of that is a great upgrade. So you can have the clients come in and schedule one thing, but they may, as you find in the service, there's more advanced things that they can do. And replacement of your hands and massage, great benefits as well, bookmarking this. But at the same time that we have these great benefits, please know there are apparatus that can do movements for you. And also we have the hot stones. Okay. Doing this area, you want to make sure that anytime you're sitting down, squatting, we talked about your chair that you're going to be in, making sure it's more ergonomic, but you want to do your own stretches. Okay, you want to do your own stretches, so you don't want to be injured after the service. Okay, and when we're performing the massage, of course, there's manual rubbing. We are not rubbing against the bone. Okay, there's no fatty tissue against that bone area. So we don't want to hurt the client. All right. And so I want you to review the massage for here, the same massage that we saw the video on. That's where our massage area is going to come from. All right. I'm bookmarking this area too, but I'm definitely wanting to look at reflexology. Now, here's one of my favorites. Okay. Reflexology is one of my favorites. It's a method of applying pressure with thumb and the index finger. When I say amazing, from the hands to the feet, learn some type of reflexology because you could be helping and assisting your clients. Um, you have those nerve points, and those nerve points are connected to systems, and the systems connected to organs. And so, if someone is having a digestive system, I literally can massage an area on the bottom of their feet and release that pressure. And that pressure, that nerve will send a release to that stomach area. And you'll find that client will say, oh, I'm feeling a little better now that you're doing that. Or if you're working the lymphatic drainage areas when a client do get up, they say, oh, I got to run to the bathroom. Yes. Okay. So reflexology is a big, big thing. You see a client that has a runny nose, sinuses, or something of that nature, you know that the tops of the big toe is going to be for headache, and nasal area is going to be for the top part of the head. And so as you apply pressure and release, time, pressure and release, you're releasing pressure at the end of that nerve point in the head area. So that is something I want you to really check out. Because it's one of those things you can upgrade. You can also specialize in this area. And clients can book reflexology with any service, especially if they're under the dryer. Anybody can book a reflexology. You don't have to just do it on the feet. Servicing clients with disabilities, if this is something accessible you like to do, you need to make sure there's enough room, still disinfectants, things of that nature. You got to be able to perform the services. They may not be able to get in the tub that's connected, but this is where we have the disposable things that you can bring out, the coverings that go on top of the foot tubs that you plug up. It may be a little bit more work on you, your back, and so get your stretching and things like that on. Cleaning and disinfecting the foot tubs, please make sure we fall into infection control. We make sure there's a lock, and whatever we use, and make sure that it has an EPA registered number. Okay. And so as we move forward, looking at procedures, we did watch some videos and materials. I'm going to stop share here. There's an area I do want you to look at. And I'm going to log back in. I want you to take a look at flashcards for manicure and pedicure. What's today? Today's the 5th. And so next week, we're going to close out those nail chapters. So manicure and pedicuring, you make sure that you check out the flashcards for each. So study those terms, study the terms for 20 and 21. And we'll be moving into 22. We're going to probably do a project as well. But we're probably... Okay. So your project is going to be on creating a collage of nail art. Okay, a nail art collage. You can do it on like a PowerPoint Canva presentation, or you can do a poster. Creating a collage of nail art. Okay. And I don't know why I'm looking at the paper and it says past, present, and future. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. For your final assignment, you're going to create a collage of nail art, past, present, and future. So what are some of the oldie but goodies nail art we used to do? Probably airbrush and the little flowers, the little flowers. What are the nail art are they doing now? Like a present time nail art. And then some futuristic nail art. So past, present, and future. Okay. Past, present, and future. You need to create a collage of past, present, and future with a minimum of 15 nail arts. It doesn't matter how many you have of past, present, and future. but a minimum of 15. You can do more if you want, but a minimum of 15. That's what my paper says. Okay. And we'll have that due on Wednesday. All right. We'll have that due on Wednesday the 13th. So we're here at let's look at our flashcards. All right. So for pedicuring, you have 19 flashcards. All right. Make sure you review urea. And, this is used in callus removers, organic compound that has an increased hydrating effect on skin cells. It loosens, break down skin cells. So it basically breaks down that hard, harsh, dry skin. Okay. Exrosis, think of a severe dry skin. When you see this, when you see this term, abnormal dryness of the skin. This is like something you don't see every day. This is just not an average dry skin. And this is what people have sometimes on their feet, especially clients who cannot service their feet or get proper cleaning for their feet. So you may see clients that may be handicapped or obese who just cannot get to their feet. They may be dealing with this. And so you got to have some treatment plans to take care of this type of dryness. Foot soaps, products put into the pedicure, bath water to soften the skin on the feet. Professionally formulated foot soaps cleanse and deodorize the feet without being overly harsh. So this is why a lot of times I don't mind dealing with the feet. A lot of people don't mind dealing with the feet because once they're in there with the foot soak, it's going to deodorize. May not take all the odor out, but it's going to deodorize and it's going to pull that initial dead skin cells. Whatever's the dirt is going to be pulled, washed away. Correct is an implement. It's a tool, scoop, shaped implement used for efficient removal of debris from the nail folds, eponychium, hyponychium, the areas around the nail. Please make sure it's not pointed, but it has a rounded end, can be single or double-ended, but it can cause a nerve issue, nerve damage if you push this in too far. Foot mask, okay, or just mask. Okay, concentrated treatment products often composed of mineral clays, ashes, things of that nature, moisturizing, botanical. It tightens, exfoliates, tones, hydrates, nourishes, gives life. So it's like, I want pretty feet. A mask will help you get there. Okay. Basalt, volcanic rock used in hot stone massage, and places like Hawaii, places where there's mountains. You may even find something similar to this. They call it petrified. You go anywhere to the Grand Canyon, anywhere, Las Vegas, the desert, noted, different places. Um, that Grand Canyon is so beautiful, but petrified rock. You can purchase petrified rock, and it's just layers and layers of that Grand Canyon. That rock is, and it's smooth as well too. It may not be in the white coloring, it may not be in the black coloring, but it has this brown reddish look, and you can see just the levels and levels, just years of like history in that particular rock. This is a different type of rock. And so, like I told you, coastal Africa, Hawaii, just different places where there are mountains or volcanoes, or you'll be able to pick these up freely, okay? And mostly the water brushes up against it and makes it smooth, but the darker the rock, the more heat that it holds, the lighter the rock, the more coolness that it holds. The nail rasp sometimes can be used or may not be used per your state board. Okay, it's used to smooth the edges of the toenails. because we don't want those edges to grow into the skin. So we want to use that. Once the ingrown nails are there, we should not be using this rasp because it could cause injury. Okay, send the clients to a podiatrist. Whirlpool foot spa. Okay, pipe foot bath that takes water. The water is moving through the pipes. Okay, gives vibration, turbulence. That what gives you your bubbles. Exfoliating scrubs, removal of dead skin cell, us abrasive. That abrasive is that grit that you feel. Okay, sometimes people use sugar, oaks, just different things to go against the skin and pull the dead skin cells off. It reduces calluses. Callus softeners, okay, products that soften and smooth, thicken tissue. This is calluses. You may even have it where it says it's a wrap, like it looks like a Kleenex. You take it out, put it over the calluses, or it may be a cream or cleansing type product that you'll put on, and then you'll wrap it up. But there are great removers around. And we talked about the ingredients in those callus removers. Salicylic acid is one of them. It's also a major ingredient for acne as well. So derived from willow tree bark. Toenail clippers is one of those implements. It's wider, it's stronger, it's good. The jaws are good to remove the thickness of the toenails. We use nail clippers for the fingernails and toenail clippers for the toenails. And yes, one is stronger than the other one. The pedicure, the care of the feet. Okay, cosmetic care of the feet. Trimming, cleansing, trimming, shaping, polishing, and some may include a foot massage. All right, toenail clippers, similar to the design of fingernail clippers, removes excess cuticle. Okay, removes excess cuticle, and it is opposed to trimming. All right, so we're not using this around. We're not using this around because it really could cut the skin and cause the client to bleed. Potassium hydroxide, we're still talking about the makeup, the key ingredients that make up the callus removers. I did tell you potassium hydroxide is related to chemical relaxers. Okay, inorganic compound that degrades the protein in callus cells. Okay, so we talk, it's one of those things that help break down. Does that, bring anything to notion when we talk about relaxers? Break down. Okay, potassium hydroxide. The foot bath. Okay, also called foot basin, pedicure bowl, pedicure tub. We talked about it yesterday. When referring to the state board, you're going to open up a nail shop. You don't necessarily have to have big tub with the jets, like some people think you may have. If you do, that is a bonus. But on top of that, if you have a really clean basin, pedicure bowl, or pedicure tub, you can use that to open your nail salon, your nail spa. And of course, it's great for soaking, bathing of the feet. Also great for cleansing, as cleaning, infection control as well. You would do that individually. Reflexology, a favorite method of applying pressure with thumb and index finger to hands and feet, has demonstrated health benefits. Applying that pressure, we call it pressure points, is a nerve ending that sends a message to the other end of the nerve. And that message, that nerve ending may go throughout the body and end up at a nerve or another part, a nerve, a system, or an organ. Okay, and it causes functions to straighten up. All right, so a lot of times when people are dealing with digestive issues, they would do reflexology, acupuncture, or something on the feet or within the ears or within the hands to help relieve pressure. That's called holistic healing. So rather than taking medications, they would choose this type of therapy as well. Foot fouls. Okay, if it cannot withstand the disinfection process, those are considered single use. Multi-use, you'll be able to cleanse them and disinfect them. Okay, also known as pedicure paddles, large abrasive files used to reduce and smooth thicker foot calluses. So as you remove the skin, you will use the foot file to smooth and buff it down. Okay, toe separators. I would consider these single use also. They absorb moisture and could hold bacteria and help spread from one person to another. Disposable foam rubber. Okay, that tells me that it's a one-time use and also that it absorbs moisture. All right. Or cotton materials used to keep toes apart from polishing. So if we're gonna find another way to polish, and I was getting to the point of using the not needing the toe separators anymore because I do the gel polish. Okay, so once the light hits it, it hits it. I don't have to worry about it bumping. It's not going to transfer over. It's not going to do anything like that. So, in some cases, if you do have to use the toe separators, they should be thrown away. They are single use. Okay, and so those are our 19 terms for flashcards for pedicures and the flashcards. So, absolutely love it. Next week, we're going to finish those nail chapters. And also, your project is to do a minimum of 15 nail arts, past, present, future. You can do a PowerPoint slide through Canva. You want to share the link with me? That's great. It is due on Wednesday, 13th of May. And also at that time, we'll be presenting our phase one completion certificate. So absolutely excited that you're finishing this first portion, and then we'll move on to the next portion after that. So I'm excited. That's on the road to licensure. Let's get it. Let's get you taking that test within 30 days. Okay. 30 days from your first from May 13th. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. Okay, if you need anything, you guys know how to contact me. Let me get here. Let me go here. Let me stop share.